Hello everybody! Book 5 of the Every Event in Christory tier list just dropped with one of the most bombastic characters debuting, so let's get into it. The Man in the Pickle Suit, probably one of classic era Chris's most popular arch enemies. The first mention of this character's existence was on the 11th of September 2008 by a troll posing as Blanca. Using a fake MySpace page, they claimed that Blanca was in fact a black transvestite in a pickle costume. This led to Chris believing that the pictured man in the pickle suit was in fact a real person, because the persona was entirely fictional. The character quickly became anonymized by the trolls, with multiple people operating under the name at once. Even though Chris turns basically everyone that annoys him into a villain in his comics, the Man in the Pickle Suit has surprisingly been spared. The closest he got to featuring as an enemy was when Clive fought Chris using a pickle gun, which the concept itself of turning someone into a pickle gun is 9 years ahead of its time, and it's fucking hilarious. Plus 10 points for the creativity, Chris. Now, if you want to pinpoint the exact moment of the creation of the Man in the Pickle Suit, we would need to go back to August 2008, when the troll known as Lord Silly Nipples created a profile posing as Blanca under the name Kawaii Kitsune 123. The troll somehow unsurprisingly tricked Chris into believing he was speaking to the real Blanca, and solicited nudes of him wearing his mother's bra and underwear. On the 11th of September 2008, the troll revealed himself, leaking Chris's nudes onto Encyclopedia Dramatica and taunting Chris by stating that they were a black pickle-suited transvestite. While many operated under the name of the Pickle Man, by far the most notorious individual was the Jew in the Pickle Suit, also known as Marvin. Although Marvin has long since stopped operating under the Man in the Pickle Suit name, he is still active on Kiwi Farms and is the current owner of the Quickie. On the 15th of March 2009, Marvin accompanied Robert Simon V to his visit to Christian's church. 4 days later, he rescued Emily from a horrific first date with Chris IRL. While Emily and Chris were chatting it up and walking around the mall, Marvin emerged from the shadows dressed in a pickle suit and began flirting with Emily while Chris stood there being cucked live on camera. He ultimately won her over, which, come on, that's the most downhill battle possible. You're going against the most riskless person on the planet. He eventually stole her from Chris, who stood dumbfounded, unable to cope with the crippling defeat he had just suffered, which would affect his bloodline for centuries to come. In October 2009, the Jew in the Pickle Suit established a YouTube account that suggested he'd come out of retirement one last time to deal a final crushing blow upon this man-child. And the Pickle Saga rightfully earns its place in the classic era placement. Well done, Pickle Man, well done. Liquid Chris, real name Christopher Duckworth, claimed to be the true and honest Christian Western Chandler and the one and only creator of the electric hedgehog Pokemon Sonichu. In reality, he was simply an impersonator on YouTube who initially just made videos to amuse himself and his friends. Liquid was played by his identical twin brothers, Chris and John Duckworth. Chris portrayed Liquid on YouTube and in the PVCC forums, while John portrayed him during the SingStar Challenge. Liquid gets his name from Metal Gear Solid, a video game which features a storyline of the clone brother of the player character, Solid Snake, hence why Christian Western Chandler is referred to as Solid Chris in this saga, as he will for the remainder of this video. Eventually, Solid discovered Liquid, and he actually believed that he was an imposter trying to take credit for his glorious creation, rather than just being an impersonator. Once he was in Solid's side, Liquid decided to up his game by playing along with his rivalry with Chris Chan, as so did his fans, and became a full-time on-duty troll. At the end of June 2009, a new YouTube account appeared with a simple premise, that the real Christian Western Chandler was back online after a long absence, during which he lost his account to hackers. So all the weirdness on C-Chan Sonichu was the work of hacking trolls, and he announced that he was ready to resume posting honest and true content on his new account. This new Christian Western Chandler posted 4 more videos, much of which were parodies of earlier videos by Solid Chris. Notably, Liquid Chris sported an official Sonichu medallion made out of paper, never Crayola fucking model magic, a stripped shirt, brown, a pair of rather bulky glasses which would make anyone look extremely ridiculous, obesity by means of a stuffed shirt, a distinctive nasal voice, and, most importantly, autism. All of which of course made him almost indistinguishable with the naked eye from Solid Chris. Solid himself made no comment, probably because he didn't notice the new videos among the chatter of all the other trolling. What really cranked this up to 11 was a chain of events that started with Solid Chris getting his C-Chan Sonichu channel back. First, Solid posted a series of videos on the 10th of July 2009 where he called out 3 trolls by their YouTube handles and dropped their docs. Well, dropped supposed states of residence, which resulted in the permanent banhammer to C-Chan Sonichu. The next piece to fall into place was when he posted his Rollin' and Cholin video on his new YouTube account, I Be a Chandler. When it hit Encyclopedia Dramatica, new fags everywhere momentarily lost control of their bowels, thinking that they'd been trolled by a grandmaster. Trolls, however, did what trolls do best. They started riffing on it. Pretty quickly, YouTube comments popped up referring to Solid as Ian Brandon Anderson, as the initials of the channel. Such was the price of success for Solid's small drop of near win in his sea of epic fail. He had delivered onto his enemies a weapon that they'd use for months. Even the damage control from that episode would have probably kept him from noticing Liquid's videos. Liquid, however, then raised the stakes in an attempt to get Solid's attention. The war began on the 21st of July when Liquid uploaded a video that reeled Solid on the hook, having sold Sonichu merchandise with Samantha Thaddeus at Otakon.
Captain's log. Stardate, June 21st, 2009. My name is Christian Weston Chandler, and y'all already know me as the creator of the Sonichu franchise and comics, and the Roast Chew comic as well. I know I haven't been making videos for YouTube in a long time, but that's because I've been busy with... Greetings to my fans on YouTube! I am sorry that I haven't posted a video for a while, but I have been very busy making rolling in the dollar bills. I tell you what, or this past weekend, I went to Otakon, which if y'all don't know that, the Ota convention for some anime and video games and Japanese, yeah. So anyway, I took my original and official Sonichu merchandise over there, and what it was replica medallions, and my comics, and I even baked some myself, some Chucky Chip cookies in the shape of Sonichu's head. So I actually sold all my merchandise by the afternoon time, and made lots of money. Here it is there.
A rebuttal was in order. Do not buy from the imposter. He is crappy and his nasal voice is just downright awful. Also, if I wanted to buy paper, I'd go to Walmart and buy 500 full 8.5 by 11 sheets for about $5. His church, he must live in frickin' Ohio with Julie. Never drives greater than 7 hours just to even visit Wesley Memorial in Virginia. F him to hell. Solid also took some time out from his busy schedule to post threat on Liquid's YouTube comments. Hey dumbass, you wish you were me. I would say you are stuck in -2nd gear. I'm calling you out. 14 Branchland Court, Ruckersville, Virginia, before August 2nd, 2009. If you really want to be me, then come face me. Oh, by the way, your nasal voice is more grating than the video Naive and metal nails on the chalkboard. But Naive is even worse than nails. You are a nerd and and a wimp. Have a good day. Christopher Christian Weston Chandler. Even at this point, Solid Chris still may have to let this all go, as he was simultaneously getting blackmailed by Jack Thaddeus, who was holding his PlayStation Network account to ransom. That ransom would never get paid, and Liquid caught Solid's eye again by picking up on the Ian Brandon Anderson meme. Hello again, loyal fans. It is I, again, Christian Weston Chandler, not Christopher Christian Weston Chandler, as everyone knows. I changed my name from Christopher to Christian. Yes, that troll, as some have now informed me, his real name is Ian Brandon Anderson. Anyway, I'm working very hard on Sonic 9, and things may be progressing heavily with my new true gal pal Casey and I. Also, expect more announcements from the developing caliber in the future. Stay true, Christian Weston Chandler. For whatever reason, Solid dug up an old video of himself failing at Guitar Hero and dumped it online. Liquid shot back with a true and honest rendition on a real guitar. Challenge. When Solid Chris attempted to show the world that he was the real Christian Weston Chandler by showing off his crappy Spanish skills, the plan backfired when Liquid responded more fluently in Spanish, French, German, and Japanese.
Captain's log, stardate, May 29th, 2009. ¡Ay! Impostor en rayos de marrón. Yo tenía 2 años de español en mi escuela secundaria, Manchester High, con mi señora bonita. Y yo recibí durante las clases.
Hola, este es el verdadero Ricardo Weston Chandler, impostor en el pequeño chaleco. Yo no solo comprender su último video, pero tiene un excelente dominio de la idioma de Cervantes. Puedo establecer mi identidad. Hablan muchos idiomas. Je parle aussi français, comme je l'ai pris 2 ans de français de mes années lycée à Manchester. Habe ich zwei Jahre lang von Deutschen und bin in der Lage zu sprechen fließend Deutsch. Usana ja otoha. Seka puhu asumeha. Asoni wa tadashi Chris naraba to yomeru kare daga kano mandai wa subete korera no gengo de oto suru hitsuyo ga arimasu.
Alright Christian, Mr. Brown Striped Imposter, since you have been able to accept and complete my question challenges, it is time to issue a new challenge.
Hello, imposter. I accept your challenge, and I hope that you don't back out, because I'm gonna give you a real whooping. Yeah, so, I got Casey, sweetheart. I got Casey, I love you, Casey. And, I got the YouTube friend, Seth. And, my other YouTube friend, Seth, kid. So,
So, those are my 3 judges. And, you know, I suppose, you know, the imposter would have to be part of the judge, but, you know, it's not kind of he has one. So, and another thing, I am not cheating. I have a computer here, but, it's only on iTunes, you know, so it's only, they press play. Yeah.
My life is brilliant.
What? Was I too early? Oh, sorry. Should I? Do you want to start over or keep going? Okay. Now.
My life is brilliant. Your life's a joke. You're just pathetic. You're always broke. Your home in Star Trek uniform. Well, it ain't impressing me. You're suffering from delusions of adequacy. You're pitiful. You're pitiful. You're pitiful, it's true. Never had a date that you couldn't inflate. And you smell repulsive too. What a bummer being you.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert!
If you're strong, you can fly. You can reach the other side of the rainbow. It's alright, take a chance, 'cause there is no circumstance that you can't handle. When you use your mind, Mr. Bad's got it good, but this ain't his neighborhood, he's taking over. No, no. From the trial, he can't hide from the power deep inside and make it happen. Sonic boom, sonic boom. Trouble keeps you running faster. Sonic boom.
As expected, the contest went to Liquid, the absolute Chad, and Solid as always was a sore loser about it. Liquid had a tally of 4 votes in his favor, 2 against. He then took his leave from the competition after announcing a number of personal coups. That he'd finally found a true sweetheart Casey, that he'd landed a job as a production manager and game designer at Microsoft for Sonic 2 game for all consoles. That Dark Horse Comics would be publishing his Sonic 2 comics, making him even more filthy rich with the opening of the CWC store. And finally, that he had decided to stop battling the Solid and move out of his parents' house to live in Redmond, Seattle to continue his happy, successful life. On the 9th of August 2009, Liquid called Solid up and confronted him over the slanderous lies he was telling on YouTube. Solid tried to reason, and when that failed, he threatened to get Liquid arrested for identity theft, dragging Bob into the debacle along the way.
Hello? Hello, Ian. Yeah, I think you know who this is. Look, Christian, stop this. Look, you are giving me a lot of stress right now, and I am not going to handle it. Look, Chris, listen, I was kind enough to accept that you said that you are actually a Christian W. Chandler. That you yes, my name is Christian Weston Chandler. Alright, fine. Your name is Christian Weston Chandler, but the fact is you were born with that name. You are not the Christian Weston Chandler that was born as Christopher Weston Chandler, who was the original creator of Sonic and Roach 2. I have asked you nicely to please stop pretending. For the sake of Casey, she really cares about you. I'm not pretending anything, and you need to stop slandering me with your lies onto YouTube. If you do not come clean right now, I am going to get my father in on this murder, and you are going to get fucking arrested, thrown in jail, and you will not get to live the peaceful, happy life of Casey that I would like you to live, because Casey really cares for you, man.
That's not true. I am on a roll.
On the 14th of August 2009, Liquid announced that he was departing from YouTube for the time being to pursue turning his Sonic 2 series into an acclaimed media franchise. Of course, this sent Solid completely over the deep end. First, he raged.
Stop that brown stripe in the shirt with the paper medallion. Stop that imposter. Sonic 2 and Roast 2 are mine alone. I am the Christian Weston Chandler, born with the birth name of Christopher, February 24th, 1982. I'm the one with Robert Franklin Chandler Jr. as my father. I'm Barbara Ann Weston Chandler as my mother. 14 Bryce Light Court, Rutgers, Virginia, 22968 434 990 0198. Stop that imposter bastard that's been posing with my name, my address, my phone number, everything. Stop him. He deserves nothing. Die, you!
Then he tried to reason. The SingStar challenge was never to verify who was the real Christian Weston Chandler, because everyone on the internet knows that I am. He's the imposter. They should quit encouraging him, and I wish that he would stop his stupid damn dirty game. I don't know what the heck is wrong with his head. He ain't right. He don't even let me get a word in edgewise. He just keeps going on and 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 on. Worse than my father. And as Summer disappeared, so too did Liquid Chris, the apparent victim of foul play. Viewer discretion is advised, as the next video is extremely disturbing.
Captain's log, stardate August 13th, 2009. Tell them your name.
Christian Weston Chandler.
Are you the real Christian?
Yes.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
Then why do you dress up like him?
It's a symbol so we don't have to be afraid of scum like you, Ian.
Oh, you do, Christian. You really do. Huh? Yeah. Oh, you think you've made Quickville a better place? Look at me.
Look at me!
You see, this is how kicking me in the balls works out. I would tell you right now I was coming for you. And now, since I finally have you, I'm gonna give you that piece of my mind I told you about there. Peace, Christian Weston Chandler.
Chris's sweetheart Casey was distraught over the event and posted a video confirming Chris's disappearance.
Captain's log, stardate October 15th, 2009. Hello, my loyal fanbase. As a lot has happened to me this past month and a half, I shall tell you first and foremost that I am safe and straight. And I would like to note there that what happened to me there, why you have not heard from me for so long. Oh, and my Sonic 2 medallion, I do not have it at the moment because it was stolen from me. I was ready for my bus to Redmond, but just at the bus stop there, all of a sudden I felt someone touching me on my... Yeah, so I turned around because, you know, I am taken by my sweetest Casey, and it was none other than the imposter Christian Weston Chandler himself, or as he is better known, Ian Brandon Anderson. I called him out and I said, "Hey you, Ian," and I said, "Hey you, Ian Brandon Anderson." He started screaming and covering his ears, and then he knocked me out with a Chun-Li kick. And so I woke up in a meat packing factory. I knew it was a meat packing factory because there was a lot of pictures of ducks hanging around. Yeah, he made me get on camera, and then he force-fed me a lot of drugs. I didn't even know there were so many kinds of them. I passed out before I could even before I could even tell. And the next thing you know, I'm waking up in the middle of the Sahara Desert, and my anus is bleeding. I'm bleeding out of my... So just all y'all, so you know by now, that imposter is a homosexual. I had to get an operation.
Liquid Chris reappeared on the 15th of October 2009 with a new video explaining the trials and tribulations of the past few months and igniting a heated love triangle with Solid for Casey's affection. According to Liquid, he had been unlawfully detained in a meatpacking factory, and when he managed to escape, he found himself in Africa. With the assistance of a few others, Liquid managed to make his triumphant return to Ruckersville, and the stage was set from there on out. In the video addressed to Casey's parents, Solid called him the previous Chris. In a desperate video for Casey, Solid called him the other Chris repeatedly. When the dust had settled, Solid's behavior had offended Casey's father, and through his immaturity, pushed Casey back into the loving, true and honest arms of the Liquid Chris. Liquid Chris is now married to his beloved sweetheart, Casey, as the one true and honest creator of Sonichu. His artwork and comics are extremely popular, and he often attracts many beautiful boyfriend-free girls with his medallions and his guitar of wind. Liquid makes mad cash by selling said medallions at Otakon and other anime conventions while voicing Solid in Sonichu the animated series. He has also made several $100,000 from his two critically acclaimed games, Pokemon Lightning version and Sonichu the Crystal Chronicles, for the Nintendo DS and Xbox 360 respectively. On the 27th of July 2011, Liquid said goodbye to the trolling universe on YouTube by closing his account. After Chris Duckworth abandoned his Liquid Chris persona, he acquired a bachelor's degree in oncology and is currently working as a cancer research doctor. Time will tell if he ever brings us one step closer to the cure. While Chris Duckworth has retired from trolling Solid Chris, he recorded a parody of the theme song to the Cleveland show at some point prior to November 2015 when the video was re-uploaded. The song was eventually animated as the Chris Chan Show in November 2020, which attracted the attention of Solid Chris. In the years since, Solid Chris eventually forgot about the Liquid Chris saga. However, in fall 2019, Chris created a Twilight Sparkle secret shipfic folder card of Liquid Chris, showing he still held some animosity towards him. The card describes Liquid as a villain utilizing pretentious acting. What an absolutely legendary ending to a legendary saga, which rightfully so earned its own category well above the rest. Lee Walsh is a former Dean of Student Affairs at Piedmont, Virginia Community College. She thwarted Chris's love quest in its early years by allegedly ripping up his attraction signs and eventually suspending him from PVCC for a whole year. She's one of the most important people in Chris's early life, as she's one of the few people who refused to allow Chris to use his autism as a universal get-out-of-jail card for anything that he wanted and tried to make him act like a normal human being. This, of course, to Chris meant war. Between Chris and Mary Lee affected Chris so profoundly that she became the sole focus of many early Sonichu sub-episodes. Even to this day, she's still arguably the supreme villain and arch-enemy in the Sonichu series, a status that not even Clyde Cash and Liquid Chris could ever achieve. As such, she's revered and cherished among trolls for her actions both in real life and in the Sonichu fanfiction. All hail the Dean. By early 2009, many years after the college college suspension episode, Chris had begun to express a desire for reconciliation with Walsh. He began with the retcon of the fictional Mary's name with a slightly less defamatory Sloweel Rayam, which is just Mary Lee Walsh backwards, implying and later stating outright that the character was not related to the real Mary. For several months, Chris made conciliatory gestures, including sending a drawing to her house, but her only response was a legal sub. Since then, Chris has accepted that Walsh will never be able to truly earn his forgiveness. Chris continued to feud with Mary Lee Walsh due to the fact that Chris tends to hold severe grudges over seemingly minor incidents. For example, in late 2013, 10 years after the August 2003 incident, Chris blamed Mary Lee Walsh in part for his continued decline in a series of Facebook ramblings and referred to a Walmart manager who banned him from the store as a Mary Lee Walsh witch bitch. Walsh slipped Chris's attention until mid-2019 when she retired, which prompted him to tweet wishing her a peaceful retirement until her time of passing, as well as offering constructive criticism on how she could have better handled her interactions with him. He followed up asking if she had ever made any recorded statement about his apology drawing from 10 years earlier. 2 years later, Chris revealed that Walsh's comic counterpart had become the mayor of Quickville, which is either a weird achievement or some kind of eternal torment of sorts. So I crowned the Mary Lee Walsh saga the prestigious award of Classic Chris Era. With that, I end the video. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing because that motivates me to push out another one of these episodes. And with that said, I'm going to sleep. Bye!